area commander and another policeman in Katsina. Peter Obi ends alliance talks with NNPP, set to announce substantive running mates by Friday. And later on the show, Gbajabiamila fumes as ministers. Others shun House of Representatives subsidy probe. I'll be hanging out with Dotun Oladipo and Asuko James. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Dotun Asuko, President Buhari just carried out a kind of minor cabinet shuffle. Now, in a minor cabinet reshuffle, President Muhammadu Buhari has sworn in 7 new ministers appointed by him. The team for the last leg of his administration is now complete and ready to coast home. I saw Umana. I saw that posting. I saw Senator Gbemisola Saraki deployed. I saw, I call him Akwashe, Senator Olorunibe Mamora moves from Minister of State for Health, down Science and Technology, going to replace Dr. Ogbunaya Onu.
I think long overdue, coming too late. For the president, I think every year you're supposed to do like what we call an assessment. If you give your ministers KPI, they can't meet it.
Do you know at a point in time, I forgot that Senator Gbemisola Saraki is the minister in this administration.
Exactly, So if you give if you have a KPI, do assessment on all the ministers. If they are not matching up, move them. You can
now you move them or
you remove them. So it's coming too late. But let's just see what these ministers will do between now and maybe January or February when this administration will leave. Therefore, Umana, who is from my side, he has been, don't forget, he was the MD of Oil and Gas Free Trade Zone before he was made a minister. So it's like he's still within the oil and gas sector. So it's going to be an easy thing for him, for him to be able to.
I'm coming from the same block with
Gospel Akpabio.
So you just take brief from
exactly, that's it. So it's like one brother giving the other brother a handshake and saying, okay, go, this is what I'm
particular about transport, Dotun. Yes, we said the Ruti Bichibike Amici did a kind of yeoman's job in that ministry, and what we have here in transportation now, and another person has been redeployed there, and we have a new Minister of State for Sambo. Jaji Sambo is now the Minister of Transportation, and Senator Olorunibe Mamora, a medical doctor, is now the Minister of Science and Technology. It was posted from that Minister of State for Health.
Well, I think the general understanding of these appointments is not for them to bring so much technical know-how to the job. It's for them to be able to have a firm hold of the political environment in that ministry. I'm not saying they shouldn't have an idea of what they have gone there to do, but it is more of being able to understand what the issues are. We have seen medical doctors who have failed in the Ministry of Health. You mentioned Rotimi Amechi now. I'm not sure he ever had anything
in transportation
to do solely with transportation. It's just general idea of administration.
He was on top of his game.
Governance. What are the needs of the people? That, for me, is the real issue. What are the needs that we have? We've had challenges with the rail. Can somebody go back and look at what were the plans that we had in the 60s, in the 70s? What derailed them? For instance, in a place like Lagos, we've always known that we've had the metro corridor. What happened to them? Can we get them back? At what cost? We begin to answer these questions.
You were there down to Ogun State.
So, what are the, it doesn't need somebody who has worked in the transport sector to be able to look at these things and say, see, this is where we should be.
Be a good administrator.
A good administrator. It's just like us saying a governor, for instance, who is a medical doctor, shouldn't be an all-rounder and then just concentrate on health. We should. And like you said, every year, the office of the SGF organizes retreats where these ministers, with the president, they review their performances. What do we get out of the retreats? What are the things we are supposed to take away? Are these ministers performing? I think we should, from now, maybe after this administration, because there is no 1 year left again, it's almost gone, begin to allow these ministers...
I want us to reach a conclusion. Like, all right, this team is not like a finishing strong thing. That's nothing phenomenal can happen again.
It's even a year of politics. So we've lost it.
You're not expecting anything again.
There's no magic. They can't perform anymore.
It's a year of politics.
Whatever they are going to see there is what they will follow. So they are not bringing, I'm not sure they are bringing any new policy that they can implement in the next 6 months. Nothing.
Nothing. Most of them will even be campaigning.
Yes.
They'll be out of Abuja.
Moving on. Nigeria's security situation is about to get to a definite crescendo that may sweep everyone away. Imagine the first scenario when bandits attack the convoy of advanced team of President Muhammadu Buhari in Doshima area of Katsina State on their way to Daura for his Salah visits. Now, terrorists killed an area commander and another police officer in the attack. So, how long before the bandits will make a daring attempt at that of the president or the presidential villa itself? Another scenario is the attack on the medium security custodial center, Kuje, in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. About 600 inmates escaped during the attack, including Boko Haram terrorists detained at the facility. Again, how long before the hardened criminals released in the attack would take Abuja by storm? So many questions to jolt us into reality, but let's start the story of the attack on Kuje Custodial Center.
We can confirm the attack on Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja. But for now, we don't have much information. We are working with the Nigerian Correctional Service to have more information on it. But for now, we have deployed men to fortify the area. We arrested some of the fleeing inmates, but I can't give you any figure of hand. At the same time, the IGP has ordered deployment of our specialized units to go, particularly EOD, explosive ordnance disposal unit, to go and assess the place. Our intelligence operatives have gone there. So all security agencies are there now, as I speak with you, to assess the situation and come up with at least preliminary investigation report.
Let's talk about the audacity of these terrorists. You know, I know that road when you're from Katsina to Daura is 1 hour on a good day. I was there in 2015, I was there in 2019. So, on a good day, you know, and if the advance team of the president, I don't know if you can attack that convoy. I don't want to be seen as talking as in disclosing the itinerary of Mr. President, but I just don't know. I know that Mr. President does not drive on that road. I know what I'm saying. Maybe Mr. President lands. Okay, let's just leave the rest. But then he's advancing.
Well, I'm not sure it was like they knew that the advance team will move at that particular period. You know, I was just trying to pick the brains of some of my reporters, and they are saying that maybe the terrorists, maybe they are hungry, or the bandits, they were hungry, and then they decided to go to that particular road at that time for them to launch their attack. So it is unfortunate that they met the president's advance team, you know, and then they attacked them. It's unfortunately also that we lost 2 officers, you know, in this attack. Well, even at that, it is worrisome, Ayo, that because I know if the president's advance team is moving the way they will move, You know,
As a symbol of the country.
You understand what I mean?
Number one president.
So for them to even say, okay, who is this particular person? I was just imagining, if the governor was also moving, he will also move like that, with at least 3 to 4 cars, vehicles, having police officers, having soldiers, and then these guys brazenly attacked the president's advancing on the governor. You understand? It was riddled. You know, so Ayo, we are living in difficult times. Let's be frank with ourselves. And the earlier we begin to talk about this, the better. The president has to find a lasting solution. It is enough for us to be condemning every time you condemn attack and condemn this. And no. We need solutions. We need real solutions for us to have peace. Because if, for instance, the president's team advancing was attacked at that period, have you also thought about the people that will be coming afterwards? What will happen to them? It means those people would have also been attacked or been kidnapped. So it is not only the president. The president is just number one. Yes, he might be the most important, but the most important set of people are Nigerians who voted him in. And so those people too need security. So the president and his team should begin to look for solutions. And what I mean lasting solutions that will be able to make sure that these bandits are put in their positions.
I don't envy Right Honorable Aminu Bello Masari. Now it's like a reflection of what he has been saying, but you know he can't afford to rock the boat. He's from the same state with Mr. President, but now that this has happened to the convoy of Mr. President, you have a clear picture of what is happening in Katsina, that Katsina might just be in a state of lawlessness.
Yeah, well, it's nothing new. Earlier in the day, yesterday, before the attack happened, the state government said that 2 of their major hospitals had been taken over by bandits, shut down completely.
2 of their major hospitals?
Yeah. And then 69 of them, they had to close down because bandits were terrifying those areas. 69. So what it means is Katsina as a whole is not safe. Forget about the president coming from there. I quite understand how some of these things work. An ambush is not expected. If it was a conventional war where you know your opponent, you know who is coming to attack you, it's a different ball game. So I will still give it to that convoy, the operatives in that convoy,
to be able to repel
that.
Exactly.
They even lost only 2 men. I give it to them. Because you are driving, unexpectedly, somebody opens fire on you. It's difficult. It's a difficult situation. So I give it to them. Surprise. But one of the things that this has taught us is this. These guys are sufficiently armed. You know, we've been saying it here. A policeman is holding an AK-47. The person you want to contend with is holding a rocket launcher. Huh?
We're lucky.
Or even
they would have attacked any of these
even
yes.
You know, the aircraft missiles.
Anti-aircraft.
You know, that's what they carry around. And that's why when you see holes in vehicles that they attack, huge, not like the normal guns, because those are things that are supposed to be used to bring aircraft down that they are using. The kind of things that you drop in a place and about 100 feet all around sinks. So it's coming home gradually. And you know, I've said it on this program before, that the likelihood of these people taking the battle to the government and the officials is very high. Because when you have gotten to a situation where you and I, who are the ordinary men, they've terrorized us so much that we can't pay ransom again, they'll go after those who have the money. if you look at the trend in the last few weeks, you will see that those that they are kidnapping are clerics. Because they knew somebody was able to raise 100 million and shouted it to the whole world.
Yes, in 24 hours.
In 24 hours. That we raised 100 million to free this man. That day I said, the next targets will be clerics. And they are going for them. And that is not likely to abate. Because the church has the money to pay. That's what we have been told by that statement. And if they have succeeded in ambushing the presidential convoy, then we should expect more. Because it gives them courage. It gives them belief in themselves.
The second leg of this is that, activities, life and properties around Katsina states that they've not been enjoying, the best of the dividend of democracy we intend to do if the environment is insecure, no matter the level of infrastructure.
If you look at it, even it's not only Katsina. There are some in some states in Nigeria, the likes of Zamfara.
And this is a fallout of
the likes of the other day. It was even on journalist Hangout on Sunday that we were discussing about 400 million being paid in taxes to bandits, in 2 months or thereabout. So these guys have turned themselves into a government on their own. Yeah. So they are now a government. So they can, anywhere they go to, they want to form their own enclave and begin to terrorize our people. In Katsina, I'm very sure that it is only maybe the state capital that will be safe.
Even the state capital,
so even inside the state, inside the state capital, inside the state capital, there are some places that you can't move. These guys are just around doing whatever they want to do, and at the end of the day, they will leave, but they are making money off our people. I'm not sure the Katsina state governor will be able to do anything. He will just be bidding his time, just like Mr. President, who is also bidding his time to leave. Because that is how it looks now.
President Muhammadu Buhari has just visited that Kuje facility right now. He should be there holding this program now. And from what you've read so far, and from all indication, this is a very dangerous trend. When terrorists will have gain access into the heart of the Federal Capital Territory to free over 60 hardened criminals and confirmed terrorists, you should expect the backlash.
Well, like it happened during the NSAS, when we had numerous jailbreaks. Well, on this program we said it, and in the 3 months that followed, we knew the kind of things that happened in those areas where you had. Messages have been going around now. If you stay in Abuja and its environment, it's good for you to stay home now. At least in the next 3, 4, 5 days, stay home. Because these guys will still be in town.
Yes.
Planning how to move. And unfortunately, like we have seen, prisons in Nigeria don't reform people. They come out, more than 90% come out more hardened. If you look at those that were freed during the NSAS, a lot of them were caught in days, hijacking vehicles, stealing, robbery, and they still had access to guns. Not to now talk of these ones who were freed by their own. They were freed by their own, so it means business continues. But then some other theory is the fact that maybe now that they have succeeded with this attack, we can be hopeful that those that were kidnapped on that train journey between Abuja and Kaduna will be freed. Perhaps. That's another theory to it. That now that they have some of their own, they will be able to say, okay,
so it's confirmed that they took everybody.
All of those involved. The government confirmed it. The government confirmed
because they were there, they were actually put in Kuje prison.
Okay,
the government confirmed it.
Before coming into the studio now, what I read on the Vanguard was that they actually changed the military guards
Yes.
a day before.
A day before.
Can this be a coincidence? What is that? It doesn't look tidy.
Ayo,
We know
the failure.
it might be expedient that they change these people regularly. But why is it that it is a day after the change of guard that this thing is happening?
For an attack of this magnitude, it is not something that was planned today.
No, certainly
It is
not.
something that has been planned for months before they actually attacked this. And not only that, they might also have insiders.
Not
Because
nice.
if you look at it,
you don't carry out attacks like this without insider
know
help.
because
you
yes,
can do it.
at so day and so time. So this is what you should do. And those guys, those terrorists, would have been around that correctional facility for a very long time, looking at who is going out, who is coming in, looking at what the cameras that are around for them to have attacked. I'm very sure, and I'm also
They
very
didn't
sure.
just waste time. They just brought down the walls.
No, because they know that, okay, do you think that they would have been driving from wherever they are inside the forest and then they bring their RPGs, bring their bombs that same last night? It's not possible. It is something that they would have been doing, keeping, and making sure that when they want to attack, they will do it once. And they did it for hours. There was no attack. There was nobody to repel them.
That's the most baffling part. Like
For
this
hours,
thing-
it started around 10. Ayo. The next thing we heard was it's around 6 that some people are now going to say, okay, this is the magnitude, this is who, and the number of people that died and all that. Now I heard that they said that 3 people, the 3 attackers were killed. How do we know that there were 3 attackers? That is what they are telling us.
Some people said it was 300 people in the back. I said, who counted them?
Who counted?
Who was there counting 1 to 300?
Ayo. So it is shocking and baffling that I can tell you that it is a failure, because if, for instance, we have a facility as big as this, and they don't have intelligent officers even within them to cordon off to know what is happening around them, then it's a problem.
And I think this is even one of our most recent facilities, this Kuje prison.
And beyond being recent, it's always modernized. It's always upgraded. I think I agree with you that the planning was something that didn't just happen.
Ola Julius is calling us from Ibadan.
This is Ola Julius from Ibadan, your state capital. Ayo, good evening, sir. And,
Good evening. Go ahead, please.
And Asuko. Now, the attack on that correctional center, for me, it's not even the major problem. The major challenge, Ayo, is these Boko Haram members that are now returning back to the society as a country. And that is even more dangerous and disastrous for us as a country. Why? Because they are now coming back, fortified. They are now coming back to make sure to cause more harm, even into our society. Honestly, we need to have this intelligence gathering very well, so that we'll be able to know how to tackle these people. And honestly, I want to beg Mr. President and his handlers to rise up to the occasion to make sure that these people are being apprehended very soon, or else, Ayo, they are going to be more deadlier in this right. Why? Because they've learned more training in that place. Coming out now forcefully, they don't want to go back there. So they want to cause more harm for us as a country.
I think the update here now is that some of the guys, they've apprehended some of them.
Well, let me.
Who are the people that they apprehended?
They are the prisoners who left, actually, from what we have heard.
Yes.
But on this issue of change of guards, I think it's routine.
Yes.
What, for me, we should focus on
hours after
is the fact that, see, we lack intelligence gathering. We've always been saying it. If something like that is going to happen in your territory, massive as that, then there should have been an inkling, something to say to you that these people are coming. And one other thing I would quickly like to mention is the fact that if you have been to that facility, you'll see that it's close to where people live. It's just so if in the heat of that attack, for instance, the Nigerian Air Force decides to scramble an aircraft, you may be killing more civilians, more innocent people than those who are in the prison.
Even calling into consideration.
That's what I'm saying. That so going to attack at that point because the only way you can do it at that time will be from the air, will result in massive losses, including those who have even gotten pardon, who are inside the prison, like the two former governors. You could have killed them. So for me, it was safer to have held on and allowed them to go. The thing we should have done in the first instance was to prevent, which we failed to do. If we had presented it, we won't be talking about this.
All right. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Please don't go away.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I need a room to rent in your house.
Okay, where do you work?
I'm the nurse.
That means you won't owe me rent. Congratulations, young lady. You have yourself a house.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. So, how much is the rent?
90,000 naira. Oh, but wait, where are you from?
I am from Akamata.
Akamata what? Akamata in my house? If you know how you got into my house, please get out right away. My spirit and that of Akamata people don't have anything to do together.
Sir, what have I done?
Your people from Akamata are known for bad things. That is what they represent, and you can't live in my house. Just get out right away.
What's going on?
Leave my house, young lady. Yes, our differences extend to our languages, culture, food, and even belief. But we are bound together by the cord of love. With one heart, with one voice, we will make Nigeria a hub of greatness, a place where the people live as one.
This message is brought to you from the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the UK government.
Showing up in style inspires great confidence. IVM G5T appeals to class.
Time is of the essence. With IVM Kappa, business and meetings are always on the go.
Fun time with the family. Thank you to IVM Kingdom. IVM Kara is always stealing the show. Isn't she beautiful? Influence defines a great leader. IVM Seriki is Africa's commute king. Strong, reliable, and durable. With the concept of regionalization, Innocent Vehicle is committed to satisfying its customers with producing their everyday dream cars.
IVM, pride of African.
Before joining us, in case you're just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout. I have Asuko James and Dr. Oladipo still in the studio. Away from the security situation now, we now go to politics. Yeah, the search for more alliances by political parties continues as the race for the 2023 presidential election gathers more steam. And it appears the romance between the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, and the Labour Party has hit the rock. The talks of alliance between presidential candidates of both parties has ended. A member of the Labour Party, Donyo Hope, has disclosed that the party's presidential candidate, Peter Obi, will announce a substantive running mate before Friday. Hope, who is occupying the slots in a placeholding capacity, confirmed that talks with Rabiu Kwakwanso-led NNPP collapsed about 4 weeks ago. Dosun, I thought because we have enough time, 8 months, so to say, that if you want to go into merger with anybody, not merger, alliance, it's too late for any merger to take place now. Alliance.
No, it's not too late until when the window for change of candidates.
Okay.
Because you can even change your presidential candidate.
What I'm trying to say now is that
if you want to
do
merge,
two parties
merging
merging together,
I understand.
like what APC did.
That can't happen again. It cannot. But you can have an alliance.
Alliance. You can't have a merger, outright merger.
No, like NNPP and Labour Party wanted to do. But anybody who has been following the political situation in Nigeria we know it's going to be difficult for Rabiu Kwakwanso to drop his presidential ambition. Unfortunately, too, also, anybody who has been following the political situation in the country will also know that any party with a Southeast candidate without getting the groundwork right may not come close to even coming third, fourth, fifth in any election. There is this...
Are you sure they won't come after you now?
No, it's not a matter of coming after me. Because if you ask me, sincerely, if it is possible for Labour Party and a Peter Obi to go it all alone without such alliances, I would say it is not advisable. The reason we've always known, the pitching of tents of political parties and the political actors centers a lot around actors.
But a lot of people will argue that NNPC does not have the NNPP does not have the momentum of the Labour Party right now.
I agree with you.
The momentum of the Labour Party right now, a lot of people described it as, phenomenal.
I agree with you.
If there's going to be a senior partner, that the senior partner should come from the Labour Party.
I'm not saying it. What I'm saying is not that the Labour Party can be the senior partner, but it will need to go and look for that alliance that will make it stronger to be able to win. I don't know if you get it. It's not about Labour Party not being the senior partner.
The firm foothold.
Yes, in the north.
The north.
So when you are looking for an alliance, you are looking for a big name, so to say. Because we know that in this country, politics, we've always played at two levels. One, the names. Two, the fund. If you are bringing in somebody who cannot provide the funds for your election, for your campaign, and then to the election, it's as good as you are wasting your time. Somebody did a little analysis before the primary started and said, see, the way our politics is structured, there is no way any presidential candidate who wants to campaign across the country can spend less than $1 billion for the primaries. And when you looked at the figures, they added up.
More than that.
That it will even be more. You can't spend less than. So we have monetized politics to the level that these alliances must have the name and the funding. Labour Party should, in my own opinion, have been allowed to be the senior partner. And why do I say so? There is this groundswell movement about the Southeast. The party already has a Southeasterner as its candidate. Already also, there is this contention that a President Muhammadu Buhari from the North, and then Kwakwanso also from. He's just finishing his 2 terms of 8 years. Why must you go and be a senior partner in that arrangement? And that is why I've come to the conclusion that, see, a lot of politicians don't see what those who are outside are saying.
Quickly, Asuko, a lot of people believe the NNPP, this party, that Kwakwanso's mission might just act like the spoiler for some of the candidates in 2023. Because the way you are looking at it, a lot of people will say, look, the real strength of NNPP is only Kano and maybe by extension, Jigawa, and some parts of Kaduna a little bit. That's, this person is just a regional party that he has his enclave, that he doesn't have the spread. So he's looking for, the Labour Party to get the spread. But he's not determining, he's now laying down the rules and regulation that this person that is coming to join me this is your time to be the vice president. So that after me, you can now be the president.
You know, the day I was watching Kwankwaso talk, I was laughing because the way he was talking, as if, I have the votes.
As if I have the votes in my kitty.
But yes, now of course he has, like, as if he has the votes already on ground, and that is what I'm bringing to the table. You don't have anything to bring in this alliance, you know. And we are talking about him moving to one particular state or the other. It's just the name. He doesn't have any governor to himself.
I think it is more popular than his own party.
Yeah, yes, now because that is it.
Brand of course, more popular than the NNPP
people
brand.
know Kwankwaso. So when he gets to the election, by the time he gets to the election, people will be looking for Kwankwaso on the ballot, but they won't see it.
Yes,
because what you should be doing, on the ballot. Of course, what we will see will be NNPP, and people will be looking for where NNPP, and it's going to be down on the ballot. So, but the thing is, Ayo, the NNPP has strongholds in Kano, and their major target is to reduce the voting population of the APC
and even the PDP.
Because Kano seems to be the battleground. It's like the catchment area, as they will say. That is where everybody wants to go. So they want to reduce the numbers there. And if you look at any other place, okay, he wants to go to Jigawa, he will go to Jigawa because it's not far from Kano, you know. And then from there, he wants to also come to Kaduna. But even at that, there are some other people, even within the party, who are still not happy. Because there will still be some movements left, right, and center. We still have like 6-7 months to go that people will still move, because at some point, people will start to look at, okay, which party am I going to move to? And they will. So the bragging of, let me use that word, the bragging that Kwankwaso is, all the mouth is making, by the time it's 6 months, we will know if he's even going to take second. Not to talk of even first, or even third or fourth. But in this whole arrangement.
That even in Kano, he has been defeated a couple of times.
Of course, several times.
So it's not as if he has it.
It's like the mighty ego as those days.
That's why I said, see,
his deputy, at least I monitored the election in Kano, I covered the election in Kano. Ganduje was able to, he humbled him. The last election. You know, he had, despite having 43,000 head starts.
The last 2-3 elections, go and check all his candidates.
Yes, what happened in Gama local government, local government.
No, so he's not like the spectacular politician, you know. So it is, they will humble him when it comes to the real thing.
So you think he's overrated?
Overrated. And that's why where I started from, about the Southeast needing somebody from the North. And if he had seen himself as that one who could provide that leverage, it would have been better for him.
Yes.
He's not seeing himself as a vice presidential candidate.
It doesn't.
No, he's seeing himself as...
You see, the best he could have done, in my own opinion, would have been to become a godfather. Nominate somebody if you don't want to go. Nominate somebody. And then give that person the backing.
Chris is calling us from Jos. Thank you, Chris.
Hello?
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Okay, Ayo, how today? Well done.
Go ahead, thank you.
Yeah, we just discussed about the present advance team being attacked. Yes, this is not new. Like the president normally say, oh, the perpetrators of this act, we will fish them out. So those people that attack the president the convoy, the president will be walking around the clock to fish them out. Like the attack on the Kuje prison, is there any attack in this administration that has not been successful? There's none. You remember the late Mama Taraba? We accused one of the governors.
Yes.
Said that he will expose him because the role he played in Boko Haram. So this government is part and parcel of insecurity. So it cannot be ended at that time.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your contribution. So I think we still have time. Going by the INEC timetable and everything, so some party they'll be trying to, like, APC, PDP, I think they're okay when it comes to spread. As in, they might not seek any kind of merger with more political parties, except they want to, So, but it's still a lot of people see that still important for the Labour Party to still replace stronger partners.
Yes, Labour Party will do that, but we shouldn't also forget that as a move, it happens in all elections.
His choice of running mates. If he has a very strong running mate, will he still need to seek this alliance?
There is no alliance that won't be sought. Even if he can win over the PDP, he needs to do it up to the last minute. If you recollect, in a state like Osho, in the last election, another one is coming up now. What turned the whole battle, especially after the first round of balloting, was what happened in Ile-Ife, where somebody said, okay, you have ill-treated me this time, I'm moving from your party to this party. And that changed the whole thing. So it can happen. Recollect also, it has happened here in Lagos, the Otedola governorship. It was a revolt. So it can happen at any time. There is no party that is going to let up on this issue. Everybody is going to keep looking for that alliance.
As we build that momentum, we'll be watching even Osun election at Suko. We keep tab on it. The former deputy speaker will be flying the flag of the Labour Party. That's Honorable Lasu Yusuf.
Yes.
So we keep tab. We look at the scores. We look at how the party is gathering momentum.
But don't use that to judge.
No, it might not be yardstick.
But at least
he has already established his presence, and that is going to be the candidate.
I will see the numbers that he can garner from the election. But we just like we said, it can't be a yardstick. It can't be a yardstick for it at all. But in all, we just have to watch, because things will still happen. Things will happen. INEC has said by July, is it 15 or so, or 17 or thereabout, all forms, everything that concerns candidates should be sent, and their portal will be shut down. So people, by now till that July, will see who is going to, just like we said.
Now that somebody like the former governor of Kano State, Shekarau, is with Kwakwanso, and a lot of people feel that their combination might just be a very big thing.
It's strong.
Yes.
We know that.
But that combination was defeated.
But they were defeated by this same Ganduje. Either before or after. Before he was in PDP, he was defeated. Then even after, so it's just that.
Don't forget, sir, that, like I said, two things: the personality, the money. These guys are out of government. Don't let me say more than that, sir. These guys are out of government.
If they have the spread to another state, not coming from the same state, Kano, it will just allow people to get that impression that, this might just be a Kano-based party.
Exactly. It's just going to be just like Abga staying in Anambra. You understand? That is how it's going to look. I don't see NNPP winning any states in 2023. You can go and write it down.
I can take a bet on that. Not one state.
They won't.
They might not win any state.
Not one.
They will just be. I can just tell you that for free.
They won't win one state. Nigeria has a political culture that is quite different.
It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. 2023 is around the corner.
It's almost here.
And finally, many Nigerians would believe that one of the greatest camps in the oil sector of the economy is the actual daily figure of petrol consumed in the country. Attempt to get the exact figure has not been too fruitful. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has criticized the non-appearance of top officials of the government before the ad hoc committee on volume of fuel consumed daily in Nigeria. At its investigative hearing in Abuja, Gbajabiamila, who is also represented by the Deputy Majority Leader, Peter Akpatasin, was mute that most of the critical stakeholders, like the Minister of State for Petroleum, Timothy Silva, the Minister of Finance, the Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and other executive officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, that's NNPC, Mili Kyari, were absent from the hearing. Let's share the story with you.
Petrol consumption in Nigeria jumped from 55.59 million litres per day in April to 72.07 million litres in May, as subsidy hit 541.66 billion naira. The monthly NNPC report showed that Nigeria supplied 8.76 billion litres in fuel consumption between January and May 2022. Yet, in the midst of the soaring figures, Nigerians are going through a hard time moving from one destination to the other. This fact-finding gathering is to hear from those that should know.
The mandate of the committee is to ascertain daily consumption of PMS, which can best be confirmed through what is dispensed at the fueling stations daily.
The critical stakeholders that have been invited here will be represented by their chief executive officers. I hardly can see any chief executive officer here. How much more not sending any representative at all? It is a shame. It is unacceptable to the House of Representatives.
The Nigeria Governors Forum, IPMAN, Nigeria Customs Service, NEITI, Nigeria Labour Congress, and the Nigerian Navy took turns to share their thoughts on the subject matter. They call for the automation of the processes of storage and distribution of the product.
With that technology, the data will be captured even to the last liter consumed. This is a period where we are talking about technology, and it's important we bring it to bear. It will cost us nothing to do that.
Be more checks and balances, accountability and transparency from top to bottom in terms of what's going in and what's going out. But the task before us is not a Herculean task. It's not rocket science. It's very straightforward.
The volume of PMS claimed to be imported into the country is much higher than what is actually imported, and by extension much bigger than the national consumption capacity.
All at the investigative hearing agreed that the transparent operation of the importation of premium motor spirit would deter falsification of figures and also save the country enormous resources. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
So this is another big scam that when you get to the bottom of it, the root of it, you discover that, look, a lot of people might have been benefiting from, we are not in any way, we can't be consuming over 6 million, liters of petroleum products every day.
Well, this issue has been on for so many years. And over time, the blame has been the fuel is smuggled into neighboring countries and sold at higher prices. We closed the border for a while. But at that time, there wasn't this increase in the cost of petrol in the international markets. So we wouldn't know whether that helped or not. But my major concern in this issue is the fact that this Ninth National Assembly has not proven to be strong enough to deal with the issues that we have on ground. The legislature is supposed to act as a check to the executive. But the sign or the signal we keep getting from this legislature is anything that the executive does is right. And once you get to that point where somebody feels you are a toothless bulldog, no matter how critical any issue is, you are going to be ignored. You are going to be ignored. And this is a major issue for us. How do we defend the kind of figures that we keep getting?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote an article during the week. You may want to check out the article in full. The title, "May Nigeria never experience this night National Assembly again?" It was written by Michael Owoko. If you permit, let me read maybe the first 3 paragraphs. He said, in the absence of an inevitable miracle, when an assessment of performance of the executive arm of government will be carried out on May 29 next year, using the economy, security, and corruption as index, President Muhammadu Buhari may likely go down as a failed president. If this happens, the legislative organ of government should be largely ashamed. Firstly, for failing to invoke the doctrine of checks and balances to ensure that the president discharges his statutory obligations in line with national interest and aspirations. Secondly, for failing to halt the breach of federal character principle by the president. Thirdly, for failing to interrogate the executive for sliding economic indices. Let me skip and go to the point where he made. He said, signs that the National Assembly will be a weakling and lacking a mind of its own emerged when the Senate President Ahmed Lawan said, any request from Mr. President is a request that will make Nigeria a better place. How do you determine that?
Just confirmed.
And everything must go in that direction. When somebody oughts you in the National Assembly, you go to the president to go and complain. There are ways of checking these things. If they don't come, you hold their budgets. We have been on this matter for years, since this government came into power. How many times have strident actions been taken against these people? They are still in office, enjoying what they need to enjoy.
A quick one on this.
I don't know what is difficult in us knowing, or NNPC telling us how the number of fuel that we consume in a day in Nigeria. They are the ones that are importing the fuel product. Not that we have another company that is importing and then they would,
at least they are the major importers.
Because we know we know that after when we had the bad fuel, that was when we now knew that there are some
not that they are the major importer. They also know what those other guys are importing. The records are with them.
Yes, because they have the
records are there.
The records are there. So why can't they now take it to the National Assembly? They have a probe. So that is what we even Nigerians should be demanding from this assembly, even from this probe.
So if we don't know the number of liters we are taking per day,
exactly,
that means government is just paying
subsidy for some people, enriching
and that
some
is
people.
Why that thing is always there. That this subsidy is a fraud.
So we need this. If they are serious about this probe, they should be able to tell us after this that from their findings, we know that at the end of it, nobody will be prosecuted because it's just a probe. But let us even know whether it is in fact, whether 72 million liters per day, 50 liters per day. So there are the people that are important.
Their inability to appear before this committee now. I think can the National Assembly go ahead to issue a bench warrant?
A bench warrant, yes. Because we need to know. Because we can't be paying some people subsidy or paying some people money for not importing. There was a time some people were saying they were importing. They were not importing anything. They will just carry ship from one country and then they will come empty. We will still give them money.
All right.
So it has to stop.
We have to leave it there. Dr. Oladipo, thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Suko James, thank you for coming on the show. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. and join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday, 120 minutes. It's going to be very interesting. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/tvcnews.nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. Bye for now. See you next week.
TVC News Adedoja Salamadini emerged winner of Lagos Reporting category at the 30th Diamond Award for Media Excellence as the isolation centers filled up and many Nigerians